What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get right into the TA. But before we do that, by the way, this is not financial advice. Now let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start off with the daily time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour, the usual. Today is the first report update episode, whatever you want to call these things, that we're going to be reviewing. I mean, at least so I named them the channel darlings, but this is pretty much just a mix of stocks that I want to watch, that we will be reviewing on the channel consistently, and also the main components of the indices. So that is fun. All right, Apple is pretty flat today, whereas we have Goog up 4%, just carrying things. So yeah, when we see things over there, that if we see any trade opportunities that are better on these individual tickers, then I will be taking those, as well as the indices. All right, so that is the whole purpose of that. But also, there are great trade opportunities like the one that was seen today on Netflix. Honestly, look at this bad boy right here. All right, let's see if we can. Do we see any sort of formation here? Do we see a broadening wedge? Yes, you do. All right, I don't know if it's going to end up playing out. If we're going to come back down here and we're going to break down here, maybe you do something similar to that. All right, but I do want to point out that Netflix has greatly outperformed QQQ. So that is something to note, whereas QQQ only in that amount of time went and did something like that. So, I mean, I'm not sure right now. I would have to look at the option chain over on Netflix, but I do think there's more money to be made right now shorting Netflix than there is on the indices. So that is just an idea there. All right, but we will look over those. We'll look at the options for these tickers, and just the option chain in the weekly report. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming out tomorrow, or Sunday, most likely tomorrow. And then we do have the ticker requests. Today's the first day. We are going to briefly look at those ticker requests. But again, all right, we're not going to spend a lot of time on them. We will review everything in detail on the weekly report, because that's the video that I don't mind making an hour long. I don't mind sitting there putting a lot more time into there, because there's going to be a lot more detail in there. All right, but we're going to cover most of what we got to cover here today. All right, where is it? Watch list. All right, so we're gonna start off with Mr. VIX. All right, and it is Friday, so I mean, I guess we can check out the weekly time frame. But again, we're gonna dive into things in the weekly report. This is just so hey, if anybody wants to know, like what's the setup going into the weekend, like going into next week? What is it? That's the purpose of this video. All right, I don't intend for them to be long. But you do have a bullish Miami candlestick formation on the VIX, which I was saying is something that marks bottoms. I called it in previous videos. I've called it the bottom, I think, or not the videos, in the written updates. I think I called the VIX's bottom marker or something like that. And yeah, this is just a formation, a candlestick formation that is at pretty much every single bottom. All right, you did have this little spike over there without it, but as you see, I guess it was not the bottom. All right, then you had an attempt right here. Again, fake out, not the bottom. All right, but yeah, over here you got it. Over here before you took off when you bottom there. Over here you had it. Over here you had it. Probably have another one. Over here you had it. And that goes all the way back into yeah, before this bear market started, right? April of last year, or not last year, 2 years ago, 2021. But yeah, overall in this bear market, we've had one bottom, two, but well, technically, I mean, you had this bullish ceramic candlestick formation right here, so technically we had two. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many tops have we had on the indices? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I don't know. Those all of these probably don't exactly match up to where we top in SPX. But either way, my point stands. We have oscillators down here in oversold territory. CCI is hinging up to the buy line. Stochastic is, I think it's crossing up today. Yeah, we are getting the signal on the weekly stochastic today. All right, and yeah, your RSI is going up, and like I have been mentioning for quite some time now, we do have this uptrend here on Mr. VIX. So if we do continue this upward pressure on the indices going into Monday, then I would assume that VIX is, we probably have a good shot. The VIX is going to come down here, and I don't know if it takes out this low. But again, we never saw it. All right, we literally never saw. I told you guys that 5 out of 6 bottoms this bear market has had that. We've also had on the weekly time frame, like I just mentioned, those bull Sharami candlestick formations, which we are rocking with right now. At the same time, we come over to SPX's weekly chart, all right, and I was looking for either a bearish engulfing candlestick, a topping tail, a doji candlestick slash bearish Harami, all right. I don't know what is going to end up forming, all right. I don't know what we're going to do going into the close. Maybe we flush and we do end up closing down here under, we need to close under 390.37. All right, so that is something I'm actually going to put on my chart right here. All right, we can make, oh, don't do that, go like that. All right, we're going to make it blue. All right, and we're going to double click that, 390.37, so 390.37. I think that is the number that I just said. 390.37. Yes. All right. So that is where we need to close underneath. We are decently above there, but as you saw, we were under there earlier today. It's not all hope is not lost. Now, I did post yesterday a tweet saying if I was the dealers, I would close you tomorrow 335 or 395 to 396. So 395.50. That is just because after the 396 strike, that is the first strike where calls are outweighing the puts. So that is max pain. All right. I have not looked on on Google. I haven't looked on like a max pain calculator or anything like that. I literally just looked at the open interest from last night. I looked at it this morning as well. Yeah, it's still the same, 395 to 396. That is where ideally, if I was a dealer, I would pin it to pay out the least amount of people. There are a lot of puts that are going to expire in the money. I don't know if they are hedged for, but if they do expire in the money, I'm pretty sure how it works is they have 2 business days to hedge those. So Monday and Tuesday, I would suspect that we're probably going to be moving down. All right, I am going to discuss in this video why I don't think we're going to start a decent counter trend here. I think we probably peaked today. All right, but again, I have no idea how it's going to end up playing out. But we're gonna look back at the charts because history is not going to repeat itself, but it will rhyme. So, and I think we have something very similar to what played out over here. All right, forming right now with that. All right. And that is mainly just because, first of all, you had wave one, all right, of just like the selling pressure, all right? And if it is going to be an impulsive move down, then yeah, we're going to have wave 3 here, we're going to have 4, and then we're going to have 5. I don't know how low we go on this first one right here, but we're having like a subwave of the wave, and I could be having that name wrong. I know there's like a bunch of sub-minuet waves and all that jazz, all right? But either way, I think we got subwave going on right here. All right, then that was 2, and I'm just saying. All right, it doesn't have to end right here. We can put on the fibs and see like where are we going to be stalling out at. All right, you could come up here and literally it could be over. All right, you could literally have just hit it right here on the 0.38% Fibonacci. I don't know if it is going to be like that, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to play out very similarly to this, all right? And what we had right here, what we had over here, all right? And if you really want to compare the two, yeah, you did not have any meaningful bounce until you had a 4-hour bullish divergence form on your CCI. It was the same exact way over here. I'll show you guys right now, just in case there is anybody who didn't watch the video yesterday. And honestly, this is like my expectations here are not going to change. All right, I'm not going to be selling anything until I see this. Now, I literally sold yesterday and then bought back for like $1 less on all of those contracts. That was stupid. All right, I literally saw what we have loading right now, and I could have honestly made myself a quite substantial amount of money. But again, I just don't want to risk at this point. I don't want to risk having this thing take off without me. All right, I did that back over here. All right, and I strictly remember selling out too early because of things I was seeing on the hourly time frame. We come over here. I think there was an hourly bullish divergence. Oh, it was right here. All right, you saw that right there, and then oh, it didn't mean anything, and you just kept falling. Yeah, nice. All right. And you end up from there, you fell, if we were talking SPY, you fell about $10 from there. All right. But either way, all right, that was the bottom of the move. But I still do remember just selling out way too early over there. All right. And like I said, history is not going to repeat itself, but it's probably going to rhyme. All right. And if it happened over here on this first wave of selling, and now we're on the second wave of selling, I don't think it's going to be any different. All right. You didn't get any decent sized move here until you got that going on right here. All right. And that was your first sign of divergence there. All right. And that was that. Well, over here, oh, this is on SPY, by the way. I don't want to look at SPY. I want to look at SPX. But it probably does work the same exact way. But I am specifically seeing this on SPX, so this is what we're going to continue to reference. All right. You get a little one. You have your first, like, I think it was a 2 to 3% move on all of these that these little ones produced. All right. Yeah. So 2.5% move right there. SPY would be moving up $8 to $10 right there. All right. And it's the same exact way over here. All right. We can literally just find that right there. You had that one, then you had this bigger one, and that ended up marking a 20, I think it's like a $24 move right there. All right. But this smaller one right here ended up marking right here. You ended up marking a 2% move to the upside. So again, that would be $8 on SPY. All right. We don't have that. All right. What I want to point out is we have this going on, and I do understand we did bounce more than we did over here, but you had your, before you entered oversold territory on your 4-hour CCI here on SPX, you had the exact same thing that's going on right now happening, where you had that bounce before you entered there, and then you continued lower. All right. Now again, things don't repeat themselves, they rhyme. All right, which is why this isn't shaping up exactly like that. And I think at least it is going to be rhyming. I will say you came back. All right, you rejected off of that, and in last night's report, I said bump and run, question mark. I didn't know if we were going to end up literally having a bump and run, or not bump and run, hook and go, where you pretty much break through resistance or break through support, and then you do that, or it works the same with resistance. We literally actually did another hook and go here. So if we do end up going and breaking that, there's your second, or there's your hook and go. All right, but it was the upside. But yeah, all right, you like clearly this trend line right here on the hourly time frame is being respected. You have the same thing over on SPY, I believe. We just gotta find it. This bad boy could be that bad boy. I am not sure. All right, I am not sure, but either way, it should be that. Let's actually see. Oh, this was just this from the wedge. Never mind. I remember this. This was literally from that wedge that we had on our chart before. But we have that over on SPX, so I guess it also was on SPY. So yeah, guys, I am going to wait and see what you are doing here, but I'm not going to be exiting any puts. If anything, I'm going to be entering more puts. All right. And where would I be doing that? I told you guys that in last night's, I believe, all right, I was extremely tired last night, and yeah, again, I had to wake up early this morning. But yeah, all right, so maybe my recollection of last night's report isn't the best. I was literally falling asleep while I was writing it. That's why I made it so short. That's why it was did not have a lot of detail in it. I just it was one of those days where I wanted to go to bed. All right. But yeah, I do believe I said for all I know, we could go up to 392, 393, or so I said something like that. Instead of going up to max pain, which would be the 395 to 396 strikes. So right in between, they would make everything. Literally, the dealers would win the best or win the most if they bring SPY to 395.50 and have it close there. I don't think that's going to end up happening because of what we just went over on this 4-hour time frame. All right, but it can happen. All right, like I said, it doesn't have to repeat itself, but likely will rhyme. And it likely will at least somewhat stick to what we have seen in the past. We come over here to SPX chart. We had this little consolidation here, right around there. And you had a dollar, or not a dollar, you had a percent move to the upside before continuing lower. I think you had like 1.5% here. Yeah, so 1.3%. So all I'm saying right now is, like, even if you do make it up to that, like, especially if you make it up to that 395.50 level next week, I do not think they're sending you up next week. I think you are going to continue exactly what we saw here. All right. But yeah, of this wave, which would be the wave 3 here, you would have that. All right. And then something like that would happen. And then you go like that. I don't know how this is going to end up playing out. I don't know how low this first wave is going to end up bringing you. But I do know exactly what has happened in the past, which is like, hey, the little bullish divergences here on the 4-hour time frame on SPX, they mark these decent like $8 to $10 moves, whereas like we got going on over here, you literally had one mark a what is this? It's like literally like has to be like a $22, $24 move. Yeah, right there. I mean, that's 6% to the upside right there. You come over here to SPY and or not SPY, SPX. Or yeah, no, SPY. Yeah, so $23 right there. That is a insane move to the upside that you could have completely avoided the pain for. But again, this is it's the same on SPY over here. Like we're probably not going to be you're probably not gonna form like you're gonna form stuff on SPY here that you're not gonna form over there on SPX. So I'm going to be looking on SPX just because that is what has happened in the past. You come over here to the hourly time frame on SPY, all right? And I did mention last night in last night's update that we did have a bullish divergence going on here, all right? I didn't know if it was just going to end up, fading, all right? Maybe it would just come back, all right? But either way, a slight pop was to be expected. That was, in my opinion, that was what I was expecting. But right here, guys, you literally have your oscillators back in overbought territory. RSI is almost there. And yeah, that's where you're probably going to end out this counter trend move, right? It's probably like, if it's not going to be right here, all right, 392, 393, they're probably bringing you up to 395 to 396. And yeah, that sucks. I mean, like that's that. All right. But like, again, if I was the dealer, that's what I would have done. All right. There was no reason, this wasn't a surprise is what I'm getting at if we do end up seeing that move. All right. But yeah, so, around the 4-hour time frame, you have risen out of oversold territory here on SPY, and you do now have room to go back down. All right, you do. And by the way, I do actually want to point this out on SPX. I saw it like slightly. All right, no, it's not on SPX. I guess it was on SPY. All right, you had a slight divergence forming on SPY between these two candlesticks right there. I didn't think it was going to mean anything, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. This is 100% just this is literally a counter trend move of this first wave. Now, I did think this first wave of selling of this wave was going to be rather substantial. All right. But maybe it's not going to be like this. I have no idea. I still think it's going to work out the same exact way. We just did have Bullard come along and reaffirm that, hey, 5.25% rates to 5.5% rates. That's absolutely insane, guys. Insane. All right, the discount rate for all these tech companies, all these unprofitable companies, they're going to go into the crapper. All right, is not okay. All right, but it happened. All right, so like just realize there's no fundamental reason again to be rallying. Technicals will prevail. All right, and all you need to do is wait for you don't even need the technicals. All right, you need the market to realize the fundamentals of the situation right now. You need him to realize that it's worse than what he said over here. All right, and it is probably worse than what they said over here. All right. But yeah, guys, all right, like all in all, guys, I am you're chilling. All right, you're not going to be coming, like, I mean, you could come up here and back test the trend line. All right, or not even back test it, but you broke out. No, you didn't even break out above it. But either way, you could come up and tap it a second time, or you could come install here at your 200 MA today. I have no idea. All right. But at the same time, I'm not worried about it. I'm just letting you guys know, like, this was expected. This is what I was saying yesterday. All right. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna come back up, and I don't think you're gonna end up breaking this trend line or any crazy stuff like that. Nope. We just got reaffirmed that hey, no, the bull case doesn't exist anymore. There you go. All right. And that's not just I do have a bearish bias, right? I want this thing to go down. But I'm not doing this analysis with the bearish bias. I'm just showing you guys the reality of the situation. This is what's happened in the past. Again, history doesn't have to repeat itself, but it should rhyme. And if it doesn't rhyme, I'll be damned. All right. That would suck. All right. But again, I mean, it's pretty dang similar to what you had right here, where they just literally cooked you and you rallied. I think it's like literally we rallied more than we did over here. So 6.7% there. You rallied here. Yeah, so right around the same. So it's pretty much identical to what happened over there. All right. But I mean, maybe it's something like this. Maybe you are having a counter trend move like that, and maybe it's going to go a little bit more. come over to SPY. All right. If we are going to move up to 395. And look at that on the 4-hour time frame. It's showing this is oh, never mind. It's pretty much the same. This is where your trend line would be on the daily time frame as well. But yeah, like maybe you have a decent 2% move up to the upside here to close out the day, and then that's the bull trap, and that sets you up for next week to go down and boom, set up another attempt at a bullish divergence here. All right, but either way, SPX never reached down here, so I really do not. I don't think this first wave of selling is done, because if you look back over here, it didn't finish up until you had a bigger bullish divergence that marked the next big counter trend. And when I say big counter trend, I'm talking about one of these that's going to absolutely wreck someone. All right, this is a face ripper. All right, I'm talking about these that's absolutely going to wreck someone. This is doable. Okay, if we get something like that, that's doable. It's not a face ripper. All right, but you get like you get a $20 move to the upside. That's not okay. All right, to sit through that, that's not okay. All right, I will not put myself in that situation, but I don't think we are here. I don't think that's what's going on here. Not even close. All right, I think this is just another trap before they send you lower. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, and clearly you could tell by the option chain for today, people were still expecting to end up, they're expecting to go lower. That's why the puts were staying there. I made sure I checked this morning, right at open to see if the open interest ended up changing too much. No, it didn't really change. So I mean, either way, all right. I didn't look at the further out expirations, but I do imagine the dealers are probably going to do what's best for them. All right. And they're probably going to bring you up, close you up there. There's your bull trap. And there you go. You're going to fall back down. All right. Keep in mind, like, even without, like I thought we were going to stay in oversold territory for quite some time. I thought it was going to be like this, where you just, like, until you had this, like, decent move right there that was marked by the 4-hour SPX divergence, the 4-hour. You like didn't have any decent move. The biggest move you had, the biggest rebound, was this 1%, 1.1% move. Well, right off the bat, so over there you fell $35 and then you started rebounding. Or you fell $30 and then you had that little rebound. Here, guys, you fell 3%. All right, you fell $12. So that is like, 1/3 of what you fell over there. A little less than 1/3 there. We'll say 1/4. Or not 1/4, a little over 1/3. But then you're already rallying over that 1.1% rally. So again, I mean, it's definitely, history definitely ain't repeating itself. But again, like, this is why, like, hey, think like the dealers. If you know the dealers are going to do something, like, it is extremely easy to move the indices. It should not be hard. All right, you can just do it with 0-day expirations, just by buying right out the money, and then that pretty much will force a squeeze. All right. And then the dealers, like, guys, why would the dealers not, why would they want to lose money here? All right. And if they're not going to lose money, they're going to chase this thing down and have to flip short just so they don't lose money. And I don't think that would be the case, because, again, like, why wouldn't they do the easiest thing to do? All right. That's exactly what's going on here. All right. We don't have to go up and do that, but yeah, we can. And if we do end up closing up there, I would say that is most likely the end of your counter trend move here. We're probably going to have the next wave of selling. All right. The next wave of selling probably would be similar to what we got going on over here. All right. Which was a $12 to $13 move down. So say we do end up coming over here, 396 their peak. All right, maybe that the next wave of selling, maybe it brings us 380, 375. I'm not really sure. All right, but yeah, either way, you guys know exactly what I'm going to be watching. I don't think anything major is going to happen until we see what I pointed out this video. But yeah, all in all, guys, you do have your daily oscillators hinged up, like all of them. All right, but keep in mind, you come over here to the main components, all right, of the indices. All right, Apple, you have what's going on right there. All right, you were sitting here in overbought territory right there. Stochastic is the same exact thing. Come over here to Tesla. All right, same exact thing. All right, and I'm not saying you can't go a little higher. All right, but I do think this is going to be wrapping up today. Wherever you end today, I think this is literally just happening so the dealers don't have to pay as many puts out. All right, you come over here to Microsoft. It's I mean, you just have a setup that has more downside than upside. That's what I'm getting at. And then you come over, obviously, to the weekly time frames on the indices, and you definitely really can see where we are here. Like, you're not like destined to rally here. That's what I'm getting at. And either way, you are going to be forming the bearish ceramic candlestick which had marked this top, all right, which had marked, do we have another one? Oh, I felt like there was another one. I guess there's not. Oh, right here. All right. And right before you had that big fat bar. All right. Or we could flush into the end of the day and dealers, like, you don't know, maybe some big player wants to screw the dealers and they want to do exactly what I was just saying. You just buy right out the money or right in the money, 0 day to expiration things, and it squeezes dealers. It makes them, they have to buy the underlying to support that position, depending on how, like if it gets into the money, they got to hedge for it. So you know what? Maybe a big player is going to do that and make you flush into the end of the day. Either way, you either have the bearish Rami candlestick for the week, or you have the bearish engulfing candlestick, which in my opinion would be way better. But either way, the last time we had a setup similar to this with the bearish Rami candlestick either way. The next week was a minus 4% week, which looking at SPY, that would be from falling right where we are, we would be falling. I want to say that is off the top of my head, it's 16 bucks, 15, 16 bucks. Yeah, 15, 16 bucks, right about there. All right, that would bring you right to what I was just saying. The next wave of selling, if it was to match this first one, that would end up, bringing us right down to 380 to 375, something around there. All right. That is pretty much it, guys. I do want to point out, you come over here to Goog, right? And this is why I say, like, guys, this is a bull trap. All right. I will say you do have volume supporting this move, right? So maybe you do end up seeing one more day. All right. One more trap day. I'm not sure. All right. But you do have literally your RSI. Okay. Not just the CCI in extreme overbought levels. All right. You have your RSI reaching the extremes up here. All right. And the RSI, I don't know if you've noticed, but it has not reached the extremes since back here in over here. This was before the bear market started. I thought this was January. I'm not gonna lie. But it was over here. All right. The furthest your RSI has gone up until. Oh, actually, guys, let me just actually make this crystal clear for everyone before we end out the week here. You have your RSI reaching the levels it did in January, and it has not reached them since January. All right. You also have the CCI, the most overbought level since again January. Holy no, that's August. Never mind. I'm bugging. Is this over here? No, this isn't January. This is August. So it's right about over there. And even over there, before you were in a bear market, you did still fall 10% from there. All right. So that would be equivalent to us literally coming down right about to those lows. Either way, I do think they're loading up a bunch of selling pressure on everything for the indices. All right. Everything has a case to fall. All right. You were just not, I mean, now that you literally got the bounce. All right. So you have the fundamental reasons shove you down, to crap on the bull case there. All right. And at the same time, now you have all the main components of the indices having this rally that's like a relief rally here. Look at your 4-hour oscillators here on Goog here. But either way, just look at the daily, guys. Literally last time you got up here was January on your RSI, and your CCI also had skyrocketed there. Oh, look at that. It happened with a 7% gap up right there. Look at what we got here. We have a gap up. Look what happened. Oh, guys, is this going again? Is it going to rhyme? Holy crap. So this is exactly what I was just saying, guys. All right, this is literally it. Do you have a gap here? High is 103.10. And then the low here, 132. So you do not have a gap. Oh, you did form a gap that day though. That you did. I'm seeing it right now. You filled it, but either way, I'm just like showing you guys right here. You have this is kind of actually pretty cool. You had a gap up here. No, you didn't have a gap up there. But let's just look at this. All right, you had a gap up here. That was your short-term peak right there. You had a gap up here, I believe. Might not be a bad gap, but either way, you had that. Now you did have this one. You kept going. All right, but keep in mind where your oscillators are. They're in absolute crazy territory right now. And then you had the gap up over here, and that was when your daily oscillators were in oversold territory. All right. My point is, guys, Google is suggesting, along with Amazon, okay, and honestly, Microsoft and Tesla and Apple and definitely Netflix. Because look at this. Now you do have the bearish divergence on Netflix, all right? So that is something to know, all right? I actually might enter Netflix puts by the end of the day. Just letting you know. But I'm not sure. All right. But for all I know, we could either gap down fat or we form a bearish engulfing candlestick and wipe all this price action out. Either way, you got the bearish divergence on the Euro CCI here. You have RSI right here at the overbought level. Last time you really hit that level was over here before this decent sized sell from 310 all the way down to 250. And that's why I say Netflix can offer us more opportunity than the indices, which is something I look forward to. I really do. All right, but either way, I am expecting Netflix to at least come down and test this trend line, if not break the trend line. What I more like, I give this a more probable. This is the more probable case here. You come down and you back test that trend line. All right, and maybe this is our next counter trend on the overall market. All right, so actually, now that I say that, maybe if that does happen, maybe Netflix isn't going to be providing as much opportunity. It's not going to fall as much as everything else. I don't know. It has more room to fall now, but it could not fall as much. Oh, never mind, guys. Netflix is one heck of a short. Look at this bad boy. We're gonna discuss all of the different time frames and look at these charts in detail on the weekly report, just because I do think there's some solid setups of what we got here, especially on Netflix, guys. Look at this. It's so freaking perfect, all right? And the monthly time frame definitely has room to come down. All right. I'm not saying you come back down to these lows, all right, but you definitely can see what I'm getting at here. Weekly time frame, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4 points of divergence there. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing have one hell of a rug pull. All right. We did just get the earnings, all right? They weren't necessarily terrible, but they weren't good, yet you rallied on them. I told you guys that I don't really like their subscription. Or I don't like not their subscription. I don't like their business model, but only the portion of their business model in which they're sitting there making their own movies. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think they need to do it. Obviously, like a bunch of like Prime does that, and Hulu probably does that as well. But I still don't. I don't think they're going to be profitable on that part of it, and maybe that will show in the earnings reports. And maybe that tanks it over the coming months. I don't know. I have no idea. Either way, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys out with that. Okay, we will look at these ticker requests in the weekly update. But just know, guys, we're gonna quickly look at this weekly on all of these, just in case anybody wants to do anything before close. All right, take some dated puts. All right, just know. Here you got slapped down. Here you got slapped down. Here you got slapped down. And guess what? You're testing it again. And guess what? You have... Oh, dude, this is one hell of a short too, guys. Oh, I might take some puts on NVIDIA as well into close. I am not sure, guys. All right, but these puts, they will be Feb 17 puts if I am getting into the Netflix puts and NVIDIA puts. All right. But yeah, look at these. These are so sexy, guys. Like literally, you got rejected there, rejected there, rejected here. And now that you're hitting the trend line again, your CCI is all the way in overbought territory. All right. The last time you had this was right at the start of this bear market. You were coming down from overbought territory right there. And I don't think we need to remind anybody what happened. All right. But after you did hit your peak here, we'll say right here is equivalent to this trend line. You just held this trend line. All right. Well, guess what, guys? You fell 30% in, there you go, in 3 weeks. I'm not saying something like that happens, but the last time you did touch this trend line, you did fall 25% in 2 weeks. All right. Well, 3 weeks. In 2 weeks, you did fall 16%. This is like really good, guys. I'm going to have to look at these options premiums. I know they're, for a fact, they're super expensive here on NVIDIA and Netflix, but we're going to see if these are actually worth more than trading the indices, because honestly, this is you got like so much downside here, and like I'm just going to say it. I think if you do end up coming back down, you're probably going to do something like this. Probably try and like double bottom or make a higher high here. All right, but you come back and maybe you get rejected. Maybe that is with the after that counter trend I was talking about that we just looked at on I think it was Google. I was saying like, hey, this could be for the next counter trend, that wave 4. So after the wave 3 was done, there's that. And that would be what's taking place here. And then you could end up doing that. Or I mean, none of this has to happen. This is just in Henry's head, you know. You know. All right, but Zom, all right, it's I'm not touching this. All right. I'm just saying, like, I personally wouldn't be touching gas. You like easily can trade the indices. All right. They're consistent. They don't have I mean, they have manipulation, obviously. That's what gives us our entries and exits, right? That gives us our warning signs. But the same time, uh, you know, I mean, gas has kind of been crazy. There's like not really, you know, there's not really a reason to, and I'm pretty sure Oxy has also not really been following, crude. All right, which is CL. Um, yeah, I mean, it like oh, that is not at all that. We need the futures. The futures. Like you pull up what's it called? You pull that up, you pull that up, come over here, pull up ZOM. All right, let's just look in the weekly time frame on ZOM over here. And this is what I'm saying. ZOM is at highs right. I would like, but like here's the thing. You don't want to short ZOM here. Like in my opinion, this is how I think. All right. I wouldn't want to take the short here, even though you're double topping here and you're like up here on your oscillators. And these are the weekly oscillators, which show that, like, hey, you do have room to come down. Looking on the monthly chart, Jesus. Guys, if anybody's going to short this thing, I'm going to be honest. I think this would be a legendary stress-free short. Just literally go in on like literally 6 to 12 month puts. This thing actually looks destined to come down. I don't know when it's going to come down, but it does look destined to fall. But here's why I wouldn't take it. All right, like me specifically. What the hell is this, guys? You are all the way down here on the weekly time frame. All right, you come over here in the monthly time frame though. It's actually pretty similar to what you got going on right there. Let me go like that. All right, thank you. There we go. Wait, no, I want that over there. All right, so we got that. All right, let's actually go like that though. Get those off of there. But yeah, guys, I really like when I wouldn't be shorting gas just because, like, you know, like with crude it's already sold off like very substantially since last major peak. All right, you sold off 40%. You got some room to run. All right, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does run while VIX is moving up. While what was the other one? No, what did we just do? Not supposed to happen, guys. Not supposed to happen. I don't care. All right, guys. So I think that is pretty much it. We can look at end phase being the last one here. All right, let's just, and I'm just gonna show you guys the weekly charts just because like if you are taking swings, I really would be taking off. The guys, I'm not. I would not. Okay, obviously no financial advice here, but I would not advise shorting end phase. There's just no reason to. All right, there's literally no reason to. You're at lows here. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I would be looking for on this next. This is actually this is another reason. Like I'm glad people are bringing these up. Maybe this is something that we end up adding to the channel darlings. All right, Nvidia I think should be on there. All right, Nvidia, Apple's obviously already on there. But Enphase, guys, this is something that will probably provide more upside, like what I'm doing with Mara. So when I see the market bottoming, I'm gonna be buying a shit. Like I'm gonna be doing a split between options and shares on Mara and Riot. 60-40 split. Now more on Mara after what I saw. This is exactly what I thought would be happening. This is why I did what I did. I wish I had put in the whole other account into Mara and had over 10K in it at first, and it would have turned into so much more. But either way, no, this was pretty freaking sick nasty what we just had happen tomorrow. And this is probably going to be one of those other opportunities that ends up ripping massively. All right. It's going to rip faces when the time comes, when everything is turning bullish again. This is one of those things that could go up. I don't know how much is, yeah, 50% right there, while the indices wouldn't be doing that. Now, again, that like Netflix, I think is going to be a very similar play to that, where you do end up break it down. Maybe you come and find support. Somewhere in this area down here on this next move down, all right? Or you end up coming back down. But guys, keep in mind, guys, everybody has Netflix, all right? Like anybody who's really crapping on the whole Netflix name, just realize like we're in a bear market right now, okay? But like the giants are going to be the ones who survive, all right? Netflix has everybody wrapped around their fingertips, all right? The Netflix and chill is a saying, all right? Like the fact that that is a saying, and it's still probably used quite a bit. All right. It's an everyday talk. Netflix is not going to be going anywhere. All right. I'm not like we're gonna have to maybe we'll even look at their at the fundamentals of Netflix in the weekly report. All right. And fundamentals of some of these other companies that are looking decent, like Enphase. All right. I'm gonna add that to channel darlings, all right, just because I want to be watching that. Enphase, what was the other one? Nvidia. Nvidia is a good one, guys. Nvidia is a good one. I know someone mentioned AMD. So we can look at that. All right, just very quick. Not even close to how Nvidia was looking. Holy cow. Holy cow, guys. NVIDIA is going to be the short. AMD is not, if you're looking at a, one of these chip stocks, yeah, I would not be shorting AMD. I would definitely be going to NVIDIA all the way. But keep in mind, all right, you do have, we're going to point this out, and this is actually something I wanted to mention in yesterday's video. I just forgot. I didn't have enough time. I was very, short time there. Either way, I was definitely, again, very tired. I did not get a lot of sleep last night or the night before that, like probably 3 to 4 hours the night before that. But either way, you have a complex head and shoulders pattern, all right? So there's your first shoulder, there's your left shoulder, there's your head, all right? And this is exactly what I think is going to go down. All right, I think it's going to, you're probably going to end up making a, probably going to be a bigger shoulder though. You're probably, so see how you did that one, and then the second part of that shoulder was a lower low. You're probably going to have that happen. It's probably going to be a substantial one. You're probably not going to break these lows though. If I had to take a guess at it, you're probably going to end up doing that, and you're probably going to see this pattern end up. It's going to have some room. All right, you're probably like again, no crystal ball. Like any of these, I have no crystal ball. I have no idea what could happen here, or I have no idea what's going to happen. I know what can happen. All right. And probability is that, like, yeah, you're probably going to keep this, so you wouldn't have an invalidated head and shoulders formation on your hands. All right. And then you come back up and break this neckline. All right. Like, and that would be a sick, nasty long in the end. But I do think it's a sick, nasty short right now. But again, we just looked at end phase. This thing honestly looks sexy. All right. For upside. But again, I mean, I don't know the fundamentals of these companies. We're going to have to look into them. Obviously, I know a little bit about the main components here. But yeah, we will look into these in detail on only in the weekly reports will we ever be doing fundamental analysis. All right. But yeah, all right, guys. So with that being said, I guess I will catch you guys in the next video. Let's actually see what's happening right here with SPY. Before we sign off here, SPY is above 393. Look at this. So this is what I was saying, guys. All right, dealers, it's in their best interest. All right, this is a sick, nasty move here. All right, that is a very quick move that just took place. All right, I don't know if this is going to sustain itself, but if I had to take a guess, it probably will sustain itself. It probably will get up here. I don't know if it's going to, but it can. All right, guys, this thing is this quite explosive, right? And I know I was saying a little jibber jabber about Elliott Wave yesterday and just how I noticed. I think it was on SPX. No, I guess it was. It was literally down here. I literally noticed it right down here. We formed this little falling wedge formation down here. All right. But after I saw how this candlestick, like from here, you saw like, oh, you're getting that selling pressure. Well, after I saw this right here, and that is when I was like, wait a minute, this is looking rather impulsive. All right. And then I saw you were forming a falling wedge formation right there. And then I was like, wait a minute, now you're forming a bullish formation here. Yeah, this is probably how you identify the early stages of like just a little. Look at this. This is what I was noticing yesterday, and I literally saw it down here. I didn't do anything about it, but I was charting it as we were going along. But like, yeah, this is what I'm saying. All right, and then you have your. Do you have? Let's see. Could you could you call it that? And then you kept going. All right, let's just see. I'm not gonna say anything's really gonna hold here. All right, but let's see what would have. Holy sweet baby Jesus, are we doing something here? Are we doing something? Definitely not. Definitely just making lines here. But I mean, guys, yeah, I mean, this could very well be how it plays out. I don't know. All right, I have no idea. We do have quite a bit of time. Up until I just did that completely wrong. I know for a fact I did that wrong. Because that would have to be there. 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 All right. But again, I don't know what's going to be taking place here. But you do have this bearish divergence right there. And as you do see, the top of that one was marked by a bearish divergence. So maybe we'll see. All right, we will see. And this is what I was saying, guys. I am not good at Elliott Wave, all right, which is why I refuse to add it into my analysis. But damn right, I got it going in the background because I do think this is so freaking cool, all right? I really do think Elliott Wave is like the coolest form of TA just because, holy crap. Like, it is so cool. Everything, like it all, I was saying the other day, or someone else was saying the other day, and I was agreeing with you. I think it was Lucy in the comments. Dude, I like love seeing everything like all play together. All right. I love seeing everything all make sense. And LA Wave is just one of those things that makes everything else that I already do make so much more sense to me. All right. So I'm still very excited to be adding that in the following months. So but either way, guys, I will catch you guys in the next update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just last thing right here, guys. Look at where DXY is. I do think it is likely that we do end up busting up soon on DXY. You do have this bullish divergence between these two candles right here. All right, from this one and that one. All right, and you've made your higher high there. All right, pretty. Can't really see it, but it's there. Either way, I do think this is going to start ripping, and yeah, I've talked about it, guys. When DXY goes up, like physically, all right, any future evaluation has to come down. All right, debt becomes more expensive. There you go. All right, so DXY will kill things. All right, by that I mean it kills the market. That is 100% what it does every time. Every time it rips. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, peace.